Hey guys, it's Leo, and in this video I am going to talk about Twin Angel Break, the magical girl show of this anime season. I just want to warn you guys that this video is going to be full of spoilers. I want to talk about the things that actually happened in this episode. And some of the things that happened in this episode were pretty nice. They were kind of a surprise and they were kind of interesting to see for the first time without actually knowing what was going to happen. So if you haven't watched this episode and you're interested in a magical girl show, I think that it's the only magical girl show that is going to run in this season. Go watch it and then come back to this video. This episode is available on Crunchyroll. Let's just talk about this first episode. The premise of this show is very simple. We have this main character with pink hair, with pink theme color. Sounds familiar, right? She is a girl who lives in the countryside and she's going to travel to Tokyo. She's going to start living in Tokyo. And this transition is going to bring so many new stuff for her life, and also going to bring the idea of becoming a magical being, a magical girl. It's nice because this show is actually kind of a sequel, a spin-off. I don't know how to call it. I would say a sequel because there is a show that happens before it that is called Kaito Tenshi Twin Angel. I think this is the right name. I don't know exactly. I saw it, but I forgot about it. Sorry. And those girls, the girls that were magic girls in this show, they appear right at in one point of the episode. They don't appear clearly, but they appear like special cameos in this episode, and it was very nice. And so this show is kind of a sequel from an obscure magical girl show that was not very famous. So this girl travels from the countryside. She actually lives in an island in Japan, and then she starts living in Tokyo. She was very well received by a group of girls in her class, and those girls, they really received and embraced her in her group of friends, in their group of friends, and now she has friends. And I found that narrative very interesting, because those girls, they have very different and unique personalities. We have a girl who has like occult powers and she can see the future, but obviously that power doesn't really work. We have another girl who's always dressed up as a sheep. We have another girl who is kind of the simple and the correct one of the group. And then we have a boy in the group that always dresses up as a girl. And the show refers to him as a cross-dresser. And it's kind of like a drag queen, right? But he lives in drag, you know? He stays in drag all the time. There's a lot to say about this specific character, but I'm gonna wait for the show to develop him a little bit more, to talk about his gender identity, because in this episode we didn't see much of him and his the way that he performs gender. But let's not talk about it right now. What I want to say is that the main character, who I forgot the name, the pink girl is very simple. She is a very simple girl. She has a very simple personality. She doesn't really stand out that much. And that's a common thing among people who live in the interior part of a country. And when you go to the big cities, you see so many different people. You see people with so many different personalities, with so many different styles, that it kind of shocks you a little bit. And that narrative kind of resonated with me because I live in a very small city here in Brazil, and every time I go to São Paulo, it's like a new world opening up to me. It's this amazing world in which everyone can be different, and no one is really noticed. No one is really shocked to see someone different in the street, for example. Oh my god, this dog doesn't stop barking. I'm so sorry. I don't really have a proper microphone to record my voice, and that's horrible. I'm sorry for that, but you know, he doesn't stop. I think it's a girl, actually. She's called Pandora. She's a very cute dog, but she never stops barking. So anyway, I think that it was a very interesting thing because they have put those four personalities who stand out, who are very different from the main character. They're together and they are so different from each other, but at the same time, they respect each other in their own individualities. And this girl is Like, she is accepted in this group and she's quickly friends with those 4 girls. There is also another girl who is a blue girl, and she's obviously, like, we know, we watch anime all the time, so we know that this girl is the other magical girl. So this little thing is very serious. She's a very serious and distant girl. She doesn't really talk much. She doesn't really pay attention to anyone. But there was a very nice scene in this episode, right at the start of the episode, right when she moves to Tokyo, in which the pink girl meets the blue girl, and then she asks for the blue girl to take a picture of her, but the blue girl accidentally took a picture of both of them. And I thought that scene was cheesy and cute. I liked that. I think that it was a very nice scene. After that, the blue girl didn't click with the pink girl, and she didn't like her, and she didn't treat her well, whatever. The pink girl just kept on doing her thing, kept on becoming friends with the other girls, and then there was an event at the school, and then a villain appeared. The interesting part about this villain is that the villain was playing that instrument that makes like traditional Japanese sounds. I don't know the name of that instrument, but I love that sound. The way that guy was playing it irritated me so much because he was frenetically playing it because of what he was doing to people. He was like storing bad energy from people, and for what, we still don't know. And then this girl, she actually develops the powers, and then there was a little Sonic. I'm saying Sonic because I forgot the name of the hedgehog, right? There's a hedgehog, but the thing is that it's not a hedgehog, and that is something that is very cliche in Magical Girls. And when I saw that scene, I was like, oh, again, couldn't you do something different? Like, the pink girl saw the hedgehog, and then she said, oh my god, the hedgehog is speaking. And then the hedgehog said, I'm not the hedgehog. And then I was like, oh my god, I can't believe there is another scene like this again in another Magical Girl show. It happens every single time. So tiresome to see that little magical animal not wanting to be called the animal that it's based on. It was funny 5 years ago. So, okay, we have this setup, and then we have the villain, and we have the girl, and she transforms. There is an actual transformation for that, and for that I'm glad, because there are some Magical Girl shows lately that don't really have proper transformations for the girls, and I don't like that. I like when there is transformation. I like when there's all those effects, glows, glitters, sparkles. I love that. This is Magical Girl we're talking about. This is a Magical Girl show, Mahou Shoujo. Come on, we have to have those things. It makes the show even better. And the transformation was very good. I liked it. It was simple. It was more on the simple side, but I liked it. It worked out pretty well. I liked the way that she poses at the end of the transformation. It was very nice. And you know, we have another cliche again, which is the girl doesn't know how to fight and she doesn't know how to act with her new powers. That's fine. That's a thing that almost always happens in Magical Girl shows, but it's kind of understandable. And I kind of liked the way she used her weapon. She has a rod. The rod is very Magical Girl-like. You know, it's very traditional looking. If we're thinking about a Magical Girl, the Magical Girl realm. But she used it as a morning star. You know, that weapon when you have a chain and a ball at the top of the chain, at the point, the end of the chain. And then she used it like that. And it ended up being very interesting. But the animation suffered a lot. The animation really suffered because I don't know, I feel like the show was very cute and the show is very well designed. It's a very simple design, but the action scenes were dreadful because they had no impact. So this was the first episode. Things might get better, but I don't know, it feels like it's the style of this show. And then things got worse when the other Magical Girl came, the blue one came, and then she was fighting the big bad villain, and she was, there were lots of movements in their fight, but But it was nice to see that they were thinking about putting action there. I mean, it's not perfectly executed, but sometimes it's what the studio can do with the people they have and with the time they have. So I'm glad that they're at least thinking about action. And it was nice because the villain was able to summon like monsters. You know, when Power Rangers are fighting, they summon those monsters. And it was the same thing. It happened a lot in Happiness Charge Precure and Heart Catch Precure. And it's nice because it gives more action to the scenes, and I love that. But another thing that surprised me was the final blow. The blue one was able to kill one of the villains right at the bat. You know, they're the four kings, and they appear right at the end of the episode. The first one was killed like that. The blue one was able to kill it like that. And I like how uncompromised they are with deaths. You know, sometimes Magical Girls are very traditional in that, and they don't kill their villains, you know? And I like that they were able to do that right at the first episode. So, yes, this was kind of a nice first episode. I was not expecting anything from this show. I actually thought it was a very otaku Magical Girl style, which is not really my thing, you know? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's not really my taste of Magical Girl anime. It's not gonna be the best anime ever. If you're looking for that, you're looking at the wrong place. It's not gonna be the best anime ever. It's not going to be the strongest Magical Girl show ever. It's probably not gonna leave an impact on us as Magical Girl fans. But you know, we might just have a good time with it, and I think that it's what it's for. Just a nice time. I think the story is going to be very light. The hedgehog is hiding something, I'm sure of it, and it's an obvious thing that the theme of the series is going to be the friendship between the blue and the pink one. They're going to be getting closer and closer each episode, and then they're going to become very, very good friends, and they're going to be able to overcome things together. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the main theme of the series, but what do we know? I think we might have some surprises down the road. I think that some good things are bound to happen, and I think that this is going to be amazing. I think that this is going to be a great series, not the greatest, but a nice one, right? We don't have any new Magical Girl show to follow. I mean, I particularly am following Kira Kira Precure and Little Witch Academia, but now there's also Twin Angel Break, which I hope you guys liked it as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye!